Hello and welcome to this Hurricane Francine update. It is 9:30, and Francine has made landfall in Louisiana. You can see here, and strengthened again right up until landfall. You can see that. You can see that convection even still popping up as this thing is now made landfall in Louisiana. So let's get the latest from the National Hurricane Center on Francine. The latest public advisory as of 7 p.m. and it landfalled, I believe, is at a 100-mile-an-hour Category 2 storm. Life-threatening storm surge, hurricane force winds, and heavy rains continue to affect southern Louisiana. At 7 p.m. Its location 29.6 north, 90.9 west, about 20 miles east-southeast of Morgan City, Louisiana, and about 55 miles west-southwest of New Orleans, Louisiana. Maximum sustained winds are 85 miles an hour, so it is finally starting to weaken as it moves inland. Moving northeast at 17 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 978 millibars to 8.88 inches. The extent of the winds is out 40 miles from the center of tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 140 miles from the center. So the hurricane force winds extend outward a decent ways, 40 miles an hour, 40 miles from the center. We're going to look at some of the radars now and show you that, again, there's very front-end loaded system, not a whole lot of rain. Dry air is working in on the back side of it, but you can see here on the front end of it, we have heavy rain, showers, and thunderstorms, and some could even have embedded tornadoes in them as well. Hurricane warning remains in effect for this part of Louisiana at this time. Looking at some of the observations from this area, let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. And we do have a tornado warning now in effect for, I see there's a red triangle right here. It's not showing it, but there is a tornado warning where this red triangle is, which is, I can't even see because the layering is so bad here. They really shouldn't make these layers so thick because it's hard to see the map. It looks like it is in east of New Orleans. There is a tornado warning in effect. And you can see, look at some of these wind gusts here. New Orleans Airport now gusting to 70 miles an hour. East at 41 gusting to 70. Heavy rain. So these are the kind of conditions that they're dealing with right now. 61 mile an hour wind gust at New Orleans International Airport. East-northeast at 41, gusting to 61. So we have two airports here. We have New Orleans Lakefront International. Lakefront has the wind gusts to 70 miles an hour. We've got a wind gust to 52 miles an hour at Donville here. So some pretty strong wind gusts here. And, of course, the other thing that we have to worry about, of course, is the flooding, which I'm sure is going on pretty badly right now. West-southwest wind at 54 at right on the shore there. The backside, you could see 82 degrees at some of these buoys here, gusting to 48. Wave height, 15.4 feet. So, yeah, definitely some very rough seas coming in here. And that's the concern, that the wind is blowing the water right into New Orleans here. That easterly wind is not a good direction for New Orleans because it takes the water and piles it into Lake Pontchartrain, as well as the heavy rain that you have that has fallen in the area. We can take a look at rainfall as well. Precipitation in the past 6 hours or so, and you can see, look at that, already 4 inches of rain being reported at New Orleans International Airport. So that's a lot of rain. Another report of 4 inches and Thibodeau and Bell River at Highway 70, also 4 inches. So that's a lot of rain that has fallen, and that's the concern we have. A lot of this heavy rain combined with that wind coming in off the water is pushing the water in. Let's see what the latest is going on right now in this area. I'm going to see what we're going to put in New Orleans and see if we can get the latest news out of New Orleans right now. Any flooding, so they are having difficulty. There's some problems here. Cars flooded as Francine Pelzer. WWL-TV always has a lot of good news here, and they always usually, not good news, but they're usually good at keeping people posted here.
That in the trash?
Let's
Excuse me?
not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Let's see if we got the latest. So 212,000 without power. I'm trying to see if we got issues in New Orleans right now. So as Hurricane Francine nears landfall, they say 90 to 99.
Jefferson
So
Performing
right now it
Arts
doesn't
Center
seem
is
like we
proud to
have.
open our 47th season with School of Rock, starting September 13th through the 22nd. Come see this local cast of musical
It
kids
looks like
and
right now we
support
haven't
local
heard any
theater.
reports of any flooding here, but there is some flooding, obviously, in some of these roadways here going on. You'll see they have some live webcams, too, as well. We'll see if any of these are working here. Doubt it.
Kind of taking a look. It looks like they're getting
Let's
out
see.
some tractors.
Yeah, they are working. Okay, so that's what it looks like there. I'm not sure where that is.
This roadway. Again, this is Barrow Street in Homa. Barrow and Pine, that's exactly where we're located. Now we're being told
See if there's any flooding over here.
Building that took on some
I don't see anything so far, but I would not be surprised if there is. Padre Island, I'm sure that they've got some pretty...
The wind and rain had just let up from where we were at the Civic Center, and so we decided, okay, we're gonna, we feel okay
but
that
I'm
we
sure
can
that
get
they're
out
dealing with some
now
flooding
and
and
take a lap around, get to our
see,
hotel, maybe
I hate
a little
that.
closer to...
Seems like I gotta use Twitter to get anything like update. Of course, it automatically goes to LARR because that's what I have plugged in. But let's see if we have anything. This is what it looks like along Lake. Yeah, you can see the water here coming in over the, you can see the water starting to overtop here. Here's the lake. You can see the water's overtopping. Dangerous conditions as New Orleans, as Hurricane Francine. So we're starting to see some flooding here. All right, we'll put Hurricane Francine in here. I mean, it's easier just to do this and to go to these media websites. You want to see what's going on. You can see so far. Yeah, look at this is the eye wall look like here. Yeah, it's pretty intense. Pretty intense. And Morgan City really got hit very hard, it looks like. Morgan City's probably completely without power right now. But these are some of the images here that we have from Hurricane Francine. So let's look at the power outage map here, and you can see we have 221,000 sheets now up to 230,926. Hardest hit, Terrebonne Parish. That's where Morgan City is. That's where the brunt of the storm hit, followed by Lafourche. As we get in closer to New Orleans, they have nearly 30,000 out in Orleans, Paris, and Plaquemines. Only 2,687. So the hardest hit areas are over here. That's where the brunt of the storm hit. And it's still a hurricane right now. It's weakening, and it's in the process of weakening. But as you see by looking at some of these observations here, we still have wind gusts definitely up there, 30s, and those wave heights too. We have a wind gust now at 78 at New Orleans International Airport, east at 49, gusting to 78. So the brunt of the storm is now affecting New Orleans. The center of it is right about over here. So let's take a look at some other satellite imagery here. We're going to go and look at tropical tidbits and go to the current storms area. Look at Hurricane Francine here. You can see, look at that blow up of convection as it went inland. It's still got blowing up. Even though it's inland, it's still kind of getting some strength. It has to be completely inland. And again, these are a lot of wet areas, so it's got that brown ocean effect, which basically means even though the center is over land, it's slowly weakening, but it's not as weakening as fast as it could have. And there's still some blow-ups of convection there that we have with this storm. Well, I think I already showed you this radar. We have another one. Let's see if we can find another one here. Here's the the radar out of the New Orleans Baton Rouge office here. And you can see here there's a lot of heavy rain over New Orleans right now. If we go to EarthCam, I think we can maybe do that. And we'll go and we'll look at EarthCam here. Should have some from New Orleans here, so just get an idea of, we'll do this balcony one here. You have the rain is coming down here, pretty heavy. I don't see any flooding, just a lot of heavy rain at this point. No lightning, just heavy rain. It looks like the power's on in downtown, so it looks like hopefully the power grid at least can hold for at least that part of the area. But other areas, definitely like Morgan City, have not. It has not held up at all for that area at all. So, yeah, here's our look at Francine. We have the satellite loop. Where did I put it? That's that one, but where did I put the other one? Yeah, here's the other one. So there's Francine again making landfall in Louisiana. And we can also look at the CONUS view, show you what's going on across the, again, look at Francine here. Here's Francine making landfall. You can see also the smoke over the upper. We're going to be getting into some of that. And a lot of smoke now coming from Southern California. There are 3 major wildfires burning there. That's the other big weather story that we're going to talk about here. Just for a little bit here. You can see there's a lot of wildfires here burning, and that smoke's actually going to make its way in. So let's take a closer look at those wildfires here. In fact, I took this image from last night. I'll just show you. This is what it was like last night. You could see that big cloud of smoke over Southern California there from those wildfires burning. There's 3 big wildfires burning there. Now Southern California. So we'll go look at Pacific Southwest, and you can see the fires right here. I know we got a little bit. You can see the fires, not quite as dramatic as last night, but you can still see. Yeah, there are the fires, and the one there. Still the fires in Idaho too burning. So Pacific Northwest. Look at that one. And you can still see, yeah, there's a fire in Nevada now, too, apparently, as well. So, yeah, there's still lots and lots of wildfires burning, and that smoke is making its way off to the east. And if we go look at the weather alerts here, outside of the hurricane and tropical storm warnings, we have these huge area of red flag warnings and air quality alerts as well in effect in a lot of these areas because of the smoke. And they had some pretty thick smoke around, let's see, still hot, 102 at Blythe, 5% humidity, and that's why you're dealing with smoke right now. 10%, 10-mile visibility, so it doesn't look like the visibility was affected there. I'm curious if that smoke made its way into Flagstaff at all, because still reporting 10 miles, so it's probably mostly aloft, the smoke that we're seeing right now. I don't see it coming in at the surface at all. But you still see a lot of these red flag warnings in effect for all of these areas. So all these areas here, these could be at risk for more wildfires that you're seeing here. So you have Wyoming, you have Colorado, you have Nevada, much of Nevada, into Utah, and Idaho as well, dealing with these very hot, dry conditions, and windy too. Not that hot, but the wind and the low humidity is definitely what's really causing things to really get bad over there, and that's not a good situation at all. As far as, let's see if there's any smoke being reported here. All right, haze is being reported at Bismarck in North Dakota, so they are reporting some smoke there. Not in Minnesota or Wisconsin yet. It looks like it is over the Great Lakes areas, so eventually we're going to get into that as well. Briefly, just touch on our weather today. We just had some very scattered high clouds and some jet chunk today across the area. We'll show you the satellite for our area for a moment here. Not the whole thing. Let's just do it this way. So you can see over our area, we had some jet chunk, and then it cleared out in the afternoon. But you can see there's more smoke coming, so we're going to definitely see some more of that. We'll just look at our temperatures today. Similar to yesterday, not really high temperatures. I mean, very similar to yesterday, upper 70s, maybe a little bit cooler than yesterday on Long Island. Upper 70s and the 80s were confined to more inland areas. That's probably because of the easterly winds we had. Lows didn't drop as low, but still the Pine Barrens, 45, still mid-40s in the Pine Barrens. That's because we still have those lower dew points, dew point 57, so northeast winds. So the winds have gone back to the northeast after being southeast to south-southeast much of the day at Islip. So go ahead and look at our climate statistics for today. High of 77 and a low of 55. Puts us 3 degrees below normal for the day. So still running a little bit on the below normal side. So we'll go to tropical tidbits and we'll just take a look and show you what's going to happen here. Again, we have this high pressure. Francine is going to go up in Louisiana, go up the Mississippi Valley, the remnants of it. We got this high pressure in control, keeping us fair weather right through the weekend. In fact, builds down even more right over the weekend. So really no real chances of rain, which means we're going to have to start worrying about wildfires here. There have been some in New Jersey, as you know. So we'll just briefly look over our weather. I know I said I wouldn't, but we will just briefly do it for tomorrow. So you'll see here easterly winds tomorrow. Again, the dew points tend to drop we may start off with a little fog in the morning, and then the dew points tend to drop as the winds go more northeast as we get into the late morning hours, and then the winds go southeast again by later in the afternoon, which brings the dew points back up. So temperatures for tonight still going to probably drop into the 50s again if you're in a cooler location. Obviously not for me. And then similar temperatures tomorrow. Upper 70s near the coast, low 80s inland. And if we go to the GFS here, you see Friday, it's going to be another similar deal with the temperatures. Dew points also. Again, similar deal. Similar deal with the wind cycles. The weekend, maybe we have more of a persistent onshore flow, which may bring in a little more moisture. Clouds. Okay, the clouds, obviously, for tomorrow. Not really expecting much in the way of clouds at all. You can see the cloud deck from Francine sort of tries to get close to us on Friday, but it still kind of stays sunny, and then it gets pushed back on Saturday. But the other factor, of course, would be the smoke, so we'll just go look at that. And we're going to go, right, we don't really have enough of the 0Z triple R. So I'll just do the 18Z1. I'll just show the smoke that's going to, you can see all the smoke here. For us, for tomorrow, it looks like we start to see more smoke as we get toward later in the day. Has a lot of it to the north, but then we may get into more of it on Friday. Oddly enough, it seems like it's getting pushed more into Canada. But you can see here that, yeah, there's fires in California are continuing to go. It looks like a lot of it's getting pushed into Canada, which for that I need the other one, the RAP. Just to show that one. Because this, you'll see that a lot of it's getting pushed into Canada. A lot of it. It's getting, because that shows you that there's a ridge here that's pushing it up to the north here. But there's a little trough over here, so that's why we might wind up getting into this, I think, as we get toward Friday. I think that's when the sky is going to look a lot more hazy, I think. Tomorrow, maybe a little bit, but I think Friday it's definitely going to be more noticeable for sure. And see if I got the weather map up here. Find it. With the weather map. Weather and hazards map. Just to show you the temperatures, because we are going to see warmth build into Canada as well. So see how warm it is there. I'm kind of curious. Not that warm, but I think we'll start seeing some of that warmth to build in. And again, we got all these red flag warnings, so the smoke is still going to be an issue. But for now, that wraps up this Francine and somewhat a little bit of a weather update. Probably none tomorrow. Maybe Friday. Again, if the other thing that we've got to watch actually also is 7. So Tropical Depression 7, which I think will become Gordon. So that'll be the next one that we're going to have to watch, and maybe I'll talk about it Friday. It all depends on how bad if the smoke gets bad. If it's really noticeable, I'll have to mention it, obviously. But I only usually do the weather updates once a week. But I figured with Francine, we have to talk about it. Francine's now moving inland. It is weakening, and it will probably be a tropical storm. Weaken to a tropical storm strength by probably, I'm hoping, after midnight or by early tomorrow morning. So that's going to wrap up this Francine and weather update. Good night.